In the midst of chaos, uncertainty, or even the mundane, the soul yearns for something more, a sense of peace, of reassurance. Where do we find it? As we navigate the ebb and flow of life, we often find ourselves on a quest for tranquility, a quest for a calm within the storm. This is a universal journey, a shared human experience that transcends time and place. Imagine a peace that is not fleeting, not dependent on circumstances, but constant and unwavering. This peace, this reassurance, can be found in the promises of God, as beautifully outlined in Psalm 121. Here, we find words that soothe our weary souls, words that echo with divine protection and guidance. So, let us embark on a journey together, a journey into the profound depths of Psalm 121. Today, we dive into the rich, comforting words of Psalm 121, a testament to God's unwavering protection and guidance. Psalm 121, a song of ascents. It begins, "I lift up my eyes to the hills. From where does my help come?" The first verse of Psalm 121 sets the tone for the entire psalm. It's a beautiful poetic verse that carries a profound message. It starts with a person looking towards the hills, a metaphorical representation of problems, challenges, or obstacles that one might face in life. The hills could be high and daunting, much like the trials we often encounter. And in the face of these hills, the question arises, from where does my help come? This is not just a rhetorical question, it's a moment of reflection, a call to introspection. It's a question that prompts us to consider where we turn when we face challenges, who we rely on when we're in distress. The significance of lifting our eyes to the hills is also worth noting. This is a posture of expectation, a demonstration of faith. It signifies that we're looking beyond our immediate circumstances, beyond our own limited abilities. We're looking towards something higher, something greater. It's a visual expression of our faith, a physical manifestation of our spiritual journey. We lift our eyes, not in despair, but in hopeful anticipation. We're not defeated by the hills before us. We stand firm, we look up, we seek help. And where does this help come from? The psalmist answers this in the next verse, but for now, let's just ponder on this question. Where does your help come from? When you face your hills, your challenges, to whom or to what do you turn? Is it your own strength, your abilities, your resources, or something else? The psalmist's question is as relevant today as it was when it was first penned. It's a question that invites us to reflect on our source of strength, our source of help. Our help, as the psalmist affirms, comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. Verses 2 to 4 remind us, "My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. He will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not slumber." These words carry a profound truth, a beacon of hope that lights our path in times of uncertainty. Our help, our sustenance, our support stems from the Lord, the divine architect of the cosmos. He who sculpted the rolling hills and the boundless skies holds our lives in his capable hands. Let's consider what it means that our help comes from the Lord. It's not just a statement of faith, but a declaration of dependence on a power greater than any earthly force. It's an acknowledgement that our strength, our resources, and our wisdom are limited, but His are infinite. It's a confession that we can't do it alone, but with God all things are possible. Now, the verse goes on to say, "He will not let your foot slip." Picture yourself on a treacherous path where every step could lead to a fall. Yet, in this perilous journey we have a promise that God will not let our feet slip. He keeps us steady, guides our steps, and prevents us from stumbling. But the reassurances don't stop there. The psalmist goes on to say, "He who watches over you will not slumber." This paints a picture of a God who is eternally vigilant, who never takes his eyes off us, not even for a moment. It's a comforting reminder that we are never alone, never abandoned, and always under his watchful eye. So, what does this mean for us? It means that in our darkest hours, when we feel like we're walking on a knife's edge, we have a divine protector who never sleeps nor slumbers. We have a God who is always alert, always watching over us, and always ready to come to our aid. In the face of life's trials, we have a vigilant and caring God. In verses 5 and 6 we find, "The Lord watches over you. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. These words relay a profound promise of God's unwavering presence and protection. Let's delve into this. Imagine a scorching day under the blazing sun. The heat is intense, the light blinding, yet in the midst of this there's a comforting shade at your right hand. This shade is not from a tree or a building, but from the Lord himself. He stands as your personal shield, blocking the harsh rays, preventing any harm from befalling you. It's not just the day, though. As the sun sets and the moon rises, a different kind of vulnerability emerges. The darkness can bring uncertainty, fear, and the unknown. But here too the Lord is your steadfast protector. The moon, symbolic of the night's potential dangers, will not harm you. This reveals God's round-the-clock vigilance, his ceaseless guard over your life. This divine protection is not confined to specific circumstances or times. It's not a 9-to-5 job for God. He doesn't clock out. His watchful eye never winks shut. It's a 24/7, 365 days a year commitment. His gaze is fixed on you, day in, day out, in every season, no matter what. This promise of constant protection is a source of immense comfort. It encourages us to trust in God's presence, even when we can't see it. It's a reassurance that we are never alone, never abandoned. Even in our darkest hours, in our most vulnerable moments, we're under his watchful eye. This is not a casual, fleeting protection. It's a dedicated, unwavering watchfulness. It's God standing as our guard, our shade, our light in the darkness. So what does this mean for us? It means we can live with confidence, knowing we're always under his watchful eye. We can face the heat of the day and the chill of the night, knowing that we are safeguarded, shielded, and loved. With the Lord as our constant guard, we need not fear any harm. Verses 7 and 8 assure us, "The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore." These concluding verses of Psalm 121 are not just words, they are the promise of a divine protector who is ever present in all aspects of our lives. Peel back the layers of these powerful verses and you'll find a comforting blanket of reassurance. The Lord will keep you from all harm. This is not a conditional promise. It doesn't say if you're good or if you're faithful. It is an unconditional promise extended to each of us, irrespective of who we are or where we're at in our life's journey. He will watch over your life. This line again speaks volumes about the nature of our protector. He doesn't just safeguard us from physical harm. He watches over our life, our dreams, our hopes, our fears. He is the silent sentinel, the unseen guardian, the loving caretaker of our soul's deepest desires and our heart's most profound longings. The Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore. This line encapsulates the eternal nature of God's protection. It's not a fleeting promise. It's not a momentary reassurance. It's a timeless pledge, a perpetual covenant. Whether we're coming or going, whether we're embarking on a new journey or returning from an old one, whether it's now or forevermore, God's protective gaze never wavers. In the grand tapestry of life, we are not random threads. We are purposefully woven, intentionally designed, and lovingly protected. We are the cherished creation of an ever-watchful God, the ultimate protector who offers us a peace that surpasses all understanding, a safety that transcends all fear, a security that defies all threats. So when the night seems darkest, when the storm rages fiercest, when the path seems most treacherous, remember these verses. Remember the promise. Remember the protector. No matter what we face, we can rest in the promise of God's perpetual care. Having journeyed through Psalm 121, we find a profound sense of peace and reassurance. This psalm, with each verse, unfolds like a map, guiding us on a spiritual journey where we encounter the unwavering presence of God, his divine protection and guidance at every turn. Let's take a moment to reflect upon the key takeaways from our intimate exploration of this psalm. It opens with a heartfelt query, where does my help come from? And immediately responds with the utmost certainty, my help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. This simple exchange invites us to recognize and acknowledge our true source of help, the Creator himself. As we proceed further, the psalm assures us that God is our vigilant guardian who neither slumbers nor sleeps. This divine watchfulness is a comforting reminder that we are never alone, even in our darkest hours. The omnipresent eye of God is always upon us, offering protection and guidance. In the latter verses, Psalm 121 expands on the theme of divine protection, asserting that God will shield us from all harm. It assures us that we are safeguarded during our daily endeavors and throughout the night. This promise of comprehensive protection invites us to live fearlessly, knowing that we are under the watchful eye of our ultimate protector. Finally, the psalm concludes with a promise of God's eternal presence. The Lord will keep your coming and going both now and forevermore. This final verse encapsulates the essence of the psalm, the perpetual presence, guidance, and protection by God. Psalm 121 invites us into a life of trust, peace, and assurance in the promises of God. By embracing these truths, we allow them to seep into the fabric of our daily lives, transforming our faith and our perception of the world around us. Embrace it and watch your faith and life transform.